Now, you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWineRadio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes Radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.
Hi, my name's Scott Frazier, San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition, co-owner WineJudging.com. Feel free to see us on WineJudging.com, and feel free to visit us at the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition public tasting Saturday, February 16th, 2 to 5 p.m. You purchase tickets at WineJudging.com.
The San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition public tasting is upon us February 16th, 2 to 5 p.m. at Fort Mason in San Francisco. The San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition is the largest competition of American wines in the world. And I'm so excited to bring to you this year, as we talk about the competition, one of the co-founders, Scott Frazier, who along with his father founded WineJudging.com in 2000 to continue delivering service to the wine industry in California. And I thank you so very much for joining us today, Scott, on Wine and Dine. And boy, there were 60 judges, 5 days. They judged 5,500 wines from 1,500 wineries. That's a huge statement.
Oh yeah, Len, and we had so much fun doing it as well. Everyone had such a great time, and like you said, 60 judges from all over the U.S., 5,500 wines, over 40 volunteers, catering. It was just a grand production, and everything went very well. And we got some great medal winners out of the competition, and it really just does a great service for the wine industry.
Are you allowed to tell us some of the winners at this point? I mean, I have a competition or a printout of the sweepstake winners, but is this public now?
Yes, absolutely. So, and your listeners could go on WineJudging.com and pull up all the winners of the 2013 San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition. The sweepstake winners, white sparkling sweepstakes, or Corbel Champagne Cellars California Blanc de Noir. The white sweepstakes, Kuka Spring Vineyards, Finger Lake Riesling. Wow. Pink sweepstakes, Sorelli Winery 2011 Lodi Sangiovese Rosetto. And then the red sweepstakes, we got Torlato Family Vineyards 2010 Russian River Valley Pinot Noir, and Wilson Winery 2009 Dry Creek Valley Molly's Vineyard Petite Syrah. Mm. And then for our dessert sweepstakes, we have Castilla di Amoroso 2011 Anderson Valley Late Harvest Gewürztraminer. And then we actually brought up a label contest. This was last year I believe Ray last year talked about this, but Mutt Lynch Winery's Man's Best Friend series won the label contest. But yeah, we have hundreds of medal winners with this year's competition, and feel free to go on winejudging.com and look at the winners. And the great thing about the website is that you're able to sort through either by winery or by variety or price range. And, and get the all the medal winners that you need.
Boy, Corbel is big time in the news here lately, because I remember that the Corbel Cellars Naturel was poured at President Obama's inauguration party.
Yeah, I read that, and they used the name champagne.
Yes. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? I mean, it still, it still is a big relevant discussion, but I suppose you probably don't even want to go that direction. But to me, it's I don't understand why in California they still continue some people to use the word champagne.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. If too bad the French don't have a sense of humor on this, right?
but it's almost like if you think of it in terms of a proprietary label. Like, I mean, you can't call a car that's not a Mercedes, or
right.
You can't call a drug Cialis if it's not Cialis. There's so much in a name.
Sure.
But anyway, okay, so if people are wanting to buy tickets to this, they can buy in advance and save quite a bit of money.
Yeah, exactly. And for the last few years, the wine public tasting actually has been selling out. So I do encourage people to go on winejudging.com and get the advance tickets. The ticket price for the advance is $65 and then $80 at the door. And just want to also mention to your listeners that the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition public tasting is held at Fort Mason, San Francisco, and it's really in the heart of the marina, just down from the Fisherman's Wharf. So it's a fabulous area to even if you're not in town, but to take a mini vacation, fly into San Francisco, and check out the public tasting. We'll have medal award-winning wineries there, and a chance for the consumers to really talk to the wineries and winemakers, and talk about their wines.
One thing that I think is interesting is that you're on the website. You also keep archived competition results. And so I would imagine, even wineries, they're looking at what kind of results they have from year to year, but there are maybe some consumers that are doing the same thing. Exactly,
and that's kind of the thought process behind it, is that we want this website to be more or less both an educational, but also a consumer-based website where consumers could go on there and check out different wineries and the medal winning vintages and that sort of stuff. So, and not just 1 year to the next, but all the years. Are any of the judges' comments about wines, and it's all done blind, but are any of the comments ever made public? No, we keep their comments are kept confidential and proprietary, but we do obviously post what medal winning wines are from each category.
Right.
But the notes are kept to themselves.
Okay. So are there any, you even have wines that are submitted from Hawaii and Alaska, but are there any states, because I guess you have the entries were from 25 different states. Are there any states that in your mind is their omission is noticeable, that you'd like to see them submitting to the competition next year?
Well, I think if you look at the evolution of the competition from where it was 15 years ago to even 10 years ago, where primarily most of the wineries that entered into the competition were
California,
Napa, Sonoma, Lake, Mendocino, and then it expanded into California, and now it's throughout the United States. But there's so many great wines across the country. If you look at the Finger Lakes area of New York and Missouri and the Carolinas. I mean, there's just so many different and fantastic wineries, and we encourage all these wineries to enter in the competition and showcase their great wines.
Do you think that wineries are continuing to use competition results like San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition in their branding and also in their marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we always see an increase actually with entries from one year to the next, and it just takes credit for the amount of the wineries. The reason why they enter the competitions is obviously to sell more wine.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, and it's a way for them to portray their winning wines and their wine preferences to the general public. And I think the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition does a great job with showcasing everyone's wines. Because,
and in part, it's such high credibility. Your competition, the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition, has very high quality judges, and it's highly respected throughout the industry.
Exactly.
And retailers use the result for promoting wines in their shop, and restaurateurs and consumers go and... now, one last question. Can people download the results onto their smartphone or something?
Yeah, absolutely. The results are, like I said, on winejudging.com, and they should be able to download those results. I believe you have to download it to a PDF, but they are allowed to download the results. Okay, I'm going to say also that I'll be able to squeeze in. Okay, Scott Frazier, co-founder of the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition and winejudging.com. Thank you so very much for joining us today on Wine and Dine. Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine, on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.